Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to CASA of Marion County's annual luncheon. It is wonderful to see such a full room with so many supporters. I'm just so glad you all could make it today. A beautiful Oregon Fall Day for a great event. My name's Randy Franke. I'm honored to serve as the president of the board of directors for our CASA here in Marion County. I have the great honor of working with the wonderful board members and staff, and I would like to ask the CASA staff and board members to please stand at this time and be recognized. Thank you for all you do to support children in foster care in Marion County. And while we're talking about those children, I'd like to take a moment to recognize our champions, the people that every day and every week are the advocates for these kids, whether it's in family court or a medical issue or an educational issue. They're there to help those children get over those hurdles. And I saw a number of CASAs here. So would our CASAs here today please stand and be recognized? Next, I'd like to recognize the number of elected officials that are with us today. If they'd please stand. Thank you for your dedicated service to our community. Microphone and I are having a dance up here. Oh, and I want to comment that, excuse me, today's videography is provided by Capital Community Media. I encourage you to subscribe to their YouTube channel. Everybody seems to have a YouTube channel these days. And share the video of this luncheon with folks that couldn't be here. I think they'd enjoy seeing that. I would also like at this time to recognize our sponsors. Know that their support means that every dollar raised today goes directly to support the CASA mission and being the best advocates and champions for our children in foster care. You'll notice the sponsors are listed on each of the, always nice when your page doesn't turn. There we go. On the screens to my right and left, the presenting sponsor is Oregon Department of Human Services. Our gold sponsors are listed as well. Please give a round of applause. On the next slide is our silver and bronze sponsors. Please give them a round of applause also. I'd like to just take a privilege of being up here for a moment. I'm reminded today of a cold day in December. Many years ago when a number of people were invited to have breakfast with a used car salesman. As we got up, the roads were covered in snow. And you think, am I really going to go to breakfast with a used car salesman in weather like this? Yes, I did. And there were less than 20 people that didn't show up on that morning despite the snow. That used car salesman, I think most people know, is Dick Withnell. Dick gave a jolt to the CASA program back there. He got up and he championed it, and the program has been growing consistently ever since. Dick, where are you? Please stand and recognize one of our biggest champions for the program and the kids in foster care. With that, it's my pleasure to introduce our first speaker today, Kathy Clark, the Mayor of the City of Kaiser. Please welcome Mayor Clark to the stage.
There we go. Well, thank you so much, Randy, and good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. We are so glad that you have joined us here today in Kaiser, in our home, and we hope that we can help your time here be pleasant. If you haven't been here before, please consider this your invitation to make our Kaiser Civic Center, our community space, a place where you can come and enjoy and relax. It's truly an honor to be here with you today to support and grow our CASA services here in our city, our community. We all have a story. It might be our own, the story of a family member, the story of a friend, and a story in many cases where someone, like a CASA, would have made a difference. These stories are very, very personal, often difficult, even years later, and a challenge to embrace, even though they are part of our why for supporting CASA today. We will hear some very personal stories today. These glimpses into the lives of our neighbors will absolutely inspire us to continue to do the good work to support our children in very difficult times. And our own stories might take on a new meaning as well. Kaiser is a take-action community where our lifestyle of pride, spirit, and volunteerism seeks meaningful ways to change lives and the future. Your action to support CASA, volunteer as a CASA, and connect CASA as part of our community allows each of us to be in our work a thread in the fabric of community embracing our children, both today and in the future. In our moments together today, we can honor our own story, the story of our family member, the story of our friend, and say, yes, I hear you. I see you. You matter. Things need to be different, and they need to be better. So because of our work today, our children will know that we see them. We hear them. They matter, and they are not alone. Thank you so much for being here today, for the work that you are doing individually and collectively in our community, and for your support of CASA. Thank you very much. It is now my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, United States Congresswoman Andrea Salinas. Congresswoman Salinas is the proud daughter of a Mexican immigrant, a first-generation American, and a dedicated public servant working for the people of Oregon's 6th Congressional District. Please join me in welcoming Congresswoman Andrea Salinas.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is such an honor to be here. First and foremost, I want to express my gratitude to CASA of Marion County for inviting me here to speak today, and I'm thankful for all the hardworking volunteers and supporters, the board members, whose dedication allows CASA to make a meaningful difference in the lives of our young people. We come together to highlight the importance of supporting youth in foster care and to recognize the remarkable volunteers who stand by their side. Today, we honor the resilient young people in our community, children who have faced unimaginable challenges, yet who still possess an incredible capacity for hope and growth. Every child in foster care has a story that deserves to be heard, a future that deserves to be bright, and a chance to thrive. And that's where CASA steps in. With trained volunteers serving as advocates, you all ensure that these children are safe, supported, and set on a path to a permanent home. Your work is nothing short of transformative. You provide a steady voice during turbulent times and help guide these young, bright people toward the future they deserve. But we have to ensure that CASA has the funding and resources it needs to continue to do this great work, expand their reach, and make a lasting impact on the lives of even more youth in our community. As your Congresswoman, I am committed to doing just that. Above all, I'm pushing to fully fund the Victims of Crime Act, VOCA, administrators. This funding is essential for CASA to continue operations and for volunteers like you to continue concentrating on your work without the burden of financial uncertainty. Supporting your efforts is an important way for Congress to contribute to this really important cause. And before I close, I'd like to again recognize the amazing youth who continue to defiantly triumph over unimaginable obstacles and challenges. Their perseverance is inspiring, and it teaches us all that resilience and hardship can be overcome with courage and the proper support from individuals here in this room today. So together, we are building a community where every child feels valued, safe, and empowered. Your commitment to this work and the lives of our most vulnerable children is invaluable. I am so grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you, and please keep up the great work.
Hello and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jackie Scott, and I'm an advocate coordinator at CASA of Marion County. Through this position, I get to work with some exceptional individuals. Our volunteers come to us with the same concern, care, compassion, and drive that I share with my team. We help some of the most vulnerable community members, and we have a big job to do. Building relationships with our volunteers that reach beyond the office is one of the many blessings that comes from this work. Our Volunteer of the Year is an extraordinary individual and a true gem to work with. She is proactive in her advocacy for the youth in her case, fiercely protecting them at every turn. She sees the little things, paying attention to every detail. She's well-versed, funny, compassionate, and has a remarkable ability for connecting with others. In recognition of her amazing work, CASA proudly presents Tara Stoll with our Volunteer of the Year Award.
Wow, what an introduction. Not sure I can live up to all of that. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. You being here says so much about your commitment to everyone in our community, especially our children, who are so very dear to all of us. I'm humbled and honored to be here and to receive this award. When I was told that I was going to be it, I was like, surely there is someone that is more deserving than myself. And I was told that's exactly why you deserve to be up there. Being a CASA is the most rewarding experience I have ever been a part of, and I've done a few things that I was pretty awed by. In a long line of people to thank, the Boy Scouts of America gets to be first. And I know that sounds crazy, but as a mom of a young man who went through that program, I spent 12 years volunteering, teaching, learning, and doing a lot of campouts. And when my son turned 18, I suddenly had time on my hands that I was used to spending volunteering. So the search began. And even though there are very many so worthy programs to be a part of, when I found CASA of Marion County, I knew that was the one. It was the perfect match for me. I started the process and applied, went through the interview process, and went through training. I think we all come out of training thinking, I'm ready. Give me that first case. I'm ready to dive right in. I don't know about other CASAs, but I was a bit surprised when I showed up to my very first home visit. My kiddos, who were teenagers, many of you can understand when I say teenagers, they started to inquisition me, and I was like, hold on. I'm the one that's supposed to be asking all the questions, but that's not how this went. They were angry and they were overwhelmed, and that was so completely understandable. I had to figure out how best to relate to these young men whose lives had just changed completely and irreversibly. I spent several months on that case and got to watch them transition from angry young men to actually enjoying being a teenager, from undervaluing themselves to starting and to care about their health. It was my first experience to watch young lives be transformed. It was a beautiful thing to be a part of. There's always so much to learn about with our first case and all the ones to follow. There are services to understand, organizations to help, and many people to talk to. Then you put that all together and figure out what is in the best interest of the child.
Can you get a little bit closer? We can't hear you in the back.
Yes, thank you
so much.
Of course. Because that's what we are all about here at CASA, is to help every child. It seems simple enough, but let me tell you that it's not always a straightforward path. I found that out with my second case. And I have heard from many CASAs that it's not uncommon to get a case where there are multiple children and multiple parents. And they're in different placements and need different things. The list goes on of the things that our children need and how we can help them. It's like having multiple jigsaw puzzles in front of you and trying to figure out which pieces go with which picture. As a CASA, I always start with discovery. This is the documentation that we receive when we get a new case. Sometimes there isn't much, a few pages, a couple of reports, but sometimes they come with over 500 pages, as mine did. It's a little bit of reading that you must commit to. I had 6 children in 3 different placements with 1 mom and multiple dads. And those aren't even what make a case truly challenging. The challenges come when you learn what these kids have been through, their experiences, their trauma, and who has touched their lives, both good and bad. Then we meet these children, and when I walk in for the first time, everything I've read is not important. I want to get to know these children, and let me tell you, these kids are not always on the same page when you walk in that room. You're just another stranger who pokes and prods at their lives, and more questions to answer and another face to learn. And I'm okay with that, because first visits are usually talking to them about things they like. Their favorite movie, their favorite game. I've colored, made crafts, listened to silly jokes, gotten tours of rooms, and even been introduced to their favorite toy. And I love every single one of those experiences. It's a connection, and we can build anything from there. That's the fun part, and I think we all look forward to that. There's a lot more work to do, though. Now it's time to talk to parents and relatives and teachers, doctors, dentists, caseworkers, lawyers, therapists. The list goes on, and they're all really important pieces to that jigsaw puzzle. Then there are reports to write, hearings to attend, committees to participate in, supervised visits to observe, sometimes. Sometimes there are multiple objectives that various service providers need to understand and we need to be a part of, whether it's a behavioral issue, understanding where a parent is at on a path to sobriety, or maybe it's working with a housing issue, or maybe it's just being a constant in that child's life. All of the things are those jigsaw puzzles that we're trying to put together. Sometimes that puzzle comes together and it's a child being reunited with a parent. Sometimes it's a placement with a relative. And sometimes, in the most beautiful cases, it's standing in front of a judge and watching an adoption ceremony come to fruition for that family. From day one, I knew that as a CASA, my one and only goal was to do everything I could to help a child get to have the childhood that every child deserves. And I've had the privilege of seeing several children get there. Being a CASA is truly the most rewarding experience I've ever been a part of. Thank you.
At the age of 17, I had spent most of my life couch surfing with friends, family, and people we had just met, lived in more than 7 homeless shelters, stayed in several motels during the winter, and entered the foster care system with my younger sisters. I am 17 years old, and I have attended 7 elementary schools, 2 middle schools, and 3 high schools. We entered the foster care system. I was terrified. It was all new to me, and like many others, I had heard horror stories about foster care. Not realizing it, it turned out to be the best thing that ever happened to me. Now that I no longer have to care for my mother or play the parental role for my sisters because we're in a safe foster home that is supportive and loving, surrounded by people who care so deeply about us, like Lynn and Lucy and CASA and everyone, I am able to take control of my life, my future, and make my dream a reality. A year ago today, college was only a fantasy. I didn't even know what a college major was. Now I will be the first person in my extended family to attend a university.
Hi, guys. Okay, I'm just gonna hold it. Last year, I proudly announced I'd be the first in my family to attend university. Today, I'm living that long-held dream. On April 3rd, 2024, I discovered I was a finalist for the Ford Family Scholarship. By April 30th, I learned I had been awarded the scholarship, guaranteeing a full ride to my dream school, Linfield University. Thank you. Guaranteeing a full ride to my dream. Oh, yeah. With the thrilling news that my college finances were secured, the final step was to be formally welcomed to the Ford Family Foundation at the Recognition Conference on July 13th and 14th, 2024. The conference took place in Eugene, where I had the chance to meet like-minded individuals who also received the scholarship and connected with my new community. I was accompanied by my incredible CASA worker, Lynn, who wholeheartedly stepped in when my resource parent at the time couldn't attend. Lynn didn't hesitate to join me, even though it meant leaving her beloved fur baby behind for a few days. Her support was invaluable during this memorable experience. Everything seemed perfect. My only task was to savor my last summer before diving into a new adventure and chapter of independence. However, in the final weeks before pre-orientation, I encountered numerous unexpected challenges with the resource home where I had been staying. These obstacles were overwhelming, and I couldn't have navigated them by myself. Thankfully, I once again had Lynn in my corner, a reliable source of support when I needed it most. The week before pre-orientation, I was relocated to another resource home. With the help of both Lynn and Viola, who is a part of Salem Angels, I managed to move to campus. Their help made the process less daunting and ensured I didn't feel alone during such a crucial time in my life. As a first-gen student at Linfield, I had the privilege of participating in the WILD program, a week-long adventure that allowed me to forge new friendships and experience Oregon's breathtaking natural beauty. During the program, I had the chance to hike, camp, volunteer, visit the iconic Tillamook factory, and even ride the historic Garibaldi train for the first time. The WILD program truly enhanced my college experience, offering unforgettable memories and connections even before the official orientation week began. Through this program, I made lasting friendships and embarked on adventures that set a positive tone for my journey ahead at Linfield. By the first day of classes, I had already made great friends and settled in wonderfully. My new surroundings felt like a place I could call home, allowing me to focus entirely on immersing myself in my studies. Throughout these last two months of school, I've encountered many questions, but I've been fortunate to have incredible support that can answer all of them. Amazing people like Lynn, Vanessa, Viola, and Stephanie, my Salem Angels mentor who introduced me to Linfield, have been by my side. College studies are vastly different from high school. I've already lost count of the essays I've written and quizzes I've taken. And the anxiety I felt before my first big college exam, biology, is something I'll never forget. Even when things get a bit too challenging in a class, I remind myself of the people who believe in me, the hard work I've invested to get here, and the fact that education is a privilege. I've grown into my independence, balancing academics and social life has been crucial. Prioritizing schoolwork remains my top goal, but I've found ways to blend fun into my routine. Identifying the best study spots and the right study companions have been key to my learning process. To prioritize our mental health and social life, my roommate and I started a tradition of watching scary movies every day in October. It's a fun way to unwind, invite friends over, and enjoy great company while celebrating the season. Finding this balance allows me to excel in my studies, forge lasting friendships, and create cherished memories. Despite my dedication and good grades in high school, attending university always seemed out of reach due to a lack of knowledge, resources, and support. However, everything changed when CASA entered my life. They provided guidance, resources, and unwavering support, transforming an unattainable goal into reality. Thanks to CASA, my life trajectory shifted in unimaginable ways, opening doors to opportunities I never thought possible. Their impact has been profound and life-changing. Thank you, CASA.
Testing. Okay. Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So Precious is one of our amazing kids in college, but not our only kid in college right now. I'd love to introduce you to Gloria and Deanna, who are sisters at Western Oregon University, and we're going to have a little chat with them about how school is going. Please give them a round of applause. So hi, how are you guys feeling about talking to 320 of your new best friends?
I'm feeling a little nervous, but I've talked in front of people before. I'm just shy. No, I'm not shy, but in this situation I am.
Gloria, how do you feel?
I feel the same way, very nervous, but it's not the first time public speaking.
All right, look at that, not their first rodeo, okay. So let's learn a little bit more about you. Deanna, how old are you and what year are you at Western Oregon?
Hello, I am 20 years old and I'm a junior at Western.
My name is Gloria, I'm 18 years old, and I'm a freshman at Western.
So I'd like to talk a little bit about what you guys did this past summer, because as I understand it, you're already working in positions that'll help prepare you for your next journey. Deanna, we'll start with you. What was your summer job?
I was working at the Jervis Elementary School. I was practically a teacher teaching my students. I only had 4 students, but you know, I was teaching them writing, reading, and English as a second language, as well as math.
I was a lifeguard at the Woodburn Aquatic Center. Since I want to be a nurse, that gave me like some experience, like what it's like giving CPR and stuff like that.
Wonderful. And Gloria, you've also volunteered at Salem Health as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I did.
Wonderful. Is that where you got inspired to become a nurse?
Honestly, I didn't really get to be with nurses, but I got like to be in like the hospital setting, and I actually liked it. So yeah, that was good.
Awesome, awesome. So let's talk a little bit about what degrees are you pursuing now? Gloria, we'll start with you.
I'm pursuing pre-nursing at Western. They have they have a nursing program. But it's like 2 years. I do the prerequisites there, 2 years, and then I apply to OHSU my second year, and then I would be doing 2 years at OHSU and be getting my BSN.
Outstanding. Deanna, how about you? What degree are you preparing for?
Pre-education. I'm doing middle high school Spanish, which is, I didn't know my own language, but we're getting there. I'm also I also want to get into more of a mental health as well, because that's something I'm really interested in. But yeah.
Wonderful. And why mental health? Why is that an important area of study?
I think it has to do with personal experiences as well as like the people around me, and I just find it very interesting to. There was one time where I heard that, like, when I started to realize that everybody has their own hardships and whatnot, and then I just want to help people in a sense. That's why I'm pretty sure, that's why I'm being a teacher as well, because I want to help students.
Fantastic. So, what's it like having a sibling on campus?
It's fun. I like to feel like I can help her with some things. But yeah.
It's nice for me because she's obviously my older sister, so if anything, like I don't know where a building is at, or I have a question, she can answer it, or like if I need help or having like a little emergency, she's always on campus, so I can go to her. But honestly, I don't really see her around campus, but I know I have that support there, which is nice.
Yeah, and I also always tell her that my friends are like majoring in math and science, so I'm like, just let me know.
So, Gloria, you have a leadership role already on campus that's coming up, and Deanna, you two will be working together in those positions. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm what's it called? Oh, the executive treasurer fundraiser at the Western. It's the what? The Multicultural Student Union. So basically, I was like in summer living my best life, and then they just like
Don't we all want that?
I got an email saying like inviting me telling me that I got selected to be in their executive board, which I had no idea what it was, but I was like, okay, why not? And then we went on the retreat and we did a lot of work, which I was like, well, what is this? But like I thought I was just gonna have fun, like it's like a little retreat, but there was like a lot of work needing to be done, like a lot of planning. And as a treasurer, I do like fundraisers, like they're big fundraisers. There's one in Christmas where we sell wreaths, but since there's like a bunch of us and there's like big events that we put on campus, my friend's also helping me with that she's also on the board. So we do like Nuestra Fiesta Latina, which is like the biggest event on campus. I'm not sure what that is, but like I'm new, but yeah.
And I am the director of equity and advocacy for our school government, our university student body. And I'm basically in charge of connecting with other clubs and organizations in campus, as well as planning future events or helping with any clubs that need help from us. And then, so we'll basically be working together when they need help with any clubs and stuff. If they need manpower, even though I'm just one, I can go and help her. Yeah.
Wonderful. So how has CASA helped you along the way?
For me, I feel like it's honestly for me it was like refreshing because with Nicole when we had our meetings, it wasn't like, oh, let's go through your tragic life or anything like that. It was more like, what do you need? What can I help you with? Like, let me tell you this fun story I had or like this adventure I took, and that really like helps a lot sometimes because we don't always want to hear like, yeah, your story kind of is so sad. I mean, we know that, but it was fun to it was fun to get somebody who just talked about like fun things or like what we needed without getting super dark about it. But yeah.
Is your CASA volunteer here today?
Yeah, she's right there. It's Nicole.
Is it Nicole Weston?
Yeah. She also brings us souvenirs from wherever she goes.
Gloria, what has your interactions been like with Nicole?
I agree with my sister. Like Nicole does, like when you're in foster care. Well, you don't know, but you're in foster care. Like you're what's it called? The person that's always like the the DHS worker. I forget what it's called. Oh, the caseworker. That one. Like it's always like people are always talking to you, like asking you questions like about the past and like just like stuff that you don't want to talk about. And then there was Nicole. She was more like of like where you go from here now. Like like what are your plans for the future? What have you done and stuff like that. Like it was just like fun to have her. She's just a support that it's always there when you need her.
Wonderful. Well, to wrap things up here, it sounds to me like coming to college has been an opportunity for a fresh start. What would you say to that?
I was agreeing with what Precious had said about like not even knowing that you could have made it to college type of thing, but it's a whole different world. But I've been loving it, and I have a pretty good support system, so I feel like I'm set in a sense.
What was the question?
The question was, do you feel like college has been a fresh start for you?
Well, it's something new, definitely. But I don't think it was like that new because I went on like a lot of like high school tours, and I've been on that campus so many times for different, like even for their events, because she was already there. So it wasn't like brand new, like I kind of knew my way around. And then I already knew people there. Like the only difference would be the academics, because they're for sure like something else.
Yeah, you stay up to like 12. Oh my gosh, yesterday night, me and my friend were coming from the library, and then we saw her from getting out of her building. It was a side quest. Oh yeah, it was a side quest. They were going to go print some biology science class.
Biology, like lab.
Yeah, some labs they had to print, and we're like, we just came from there, guys. It's 12. But
All right, well, folks, give them a hand. All right, folks, it's my turn now. You're not going to hear about my college stories or how I feel like I'm living my best life every day. Although I kind of am, because I get to work with teens and kids like Precious, Gloria, and Deanna. I get to work with amazing CASA volunteers like Lynn and Tara and Nicole. I get to work with amazing staff like Jackie, like Braylon running the PowerPoint today, like all of my staff who are in the room today. 7 of us strong for the entire county. And our task is a big one. We work with hundreds of children babies, teens, and young adults in foster care every single year. And it is our goal to provide a customized case plan for every single one of them. Like the girls said, Nicole came to them and asked them, what do you need? How can we move forward? That's what we do at CASA. You see, if you look up the statute, because yes, there's a statute that requires CASA. And if you look at that, it says that our duty is to advocate for the best interests of the children. The best. We want the best for every single one of these kids. We don't want them to survive foster care. We want them to thrive. So let's talk a little bit more about this. The odds are stacked against kids in foster care. The graduation rate for all Oregon foster teens, whether they have a CASA or not, is less than half. Less than half. They also face heightened risks of incarceration, addiction, homelessness, and worse. Now, the overall graduation rate for all Oregon teenagers, whether they have the best of everything or nothing, it hovers around 81%. But this year, 2024, we had at CASA Marion County 8 teens who were assigned to volunteers like Lynn and Nicole. And 7 of them graduated on time. That is how we have That is how we have an 87% graduation rate for this year. And believe me, we will work with that 8th teen. My goal is to have that rate every year, if not higher. Because if you don't graduate from high school, you miss out on so many things. An incalculable array of job opportunities will never be available to you. A lifetime of lost earning potential, gone. Home ownership, think again. That's not what we want for our kids. Education is the way out. You know this, that's the truth for the kids you saw today and the hundreds more who are in the shadows. Education is the way out. And at CASA Marion County, we work hard to ensure these kids have everything they need. Earlier this year, when I learned that Precious was getting a full ride, I asked Lynn, what can we do? What can we do to ensure that she is moved in and fully ready? Because a full ride doesn't cover everything. So sure enough, she received a laundry list of things that you need for your dorm room. Things like bedding, a lamp for your desk, things like that. So I said, Precious, let's go shopping. You see, my mom helped me shop for college. Thank you, Mom, I love you. My mother's here today, give her a hand. So I did the thing for Precious that my parents did for me. They helped prepare me for college. So we went shopping and we bought a beautiful desk lamp. We bought a little throw rug. We brought a calendar, an organizer, things like that to make her college dorm her home. And all I had to do was make a few phone calls, and I had donors step up immediately to say yes. If I need a new backpack for her, no problem. School supplies, whatever you need. And I want to do that for all of our kids. I want to do that for all of our college-bound youth. I want to say yes. If they need specialized equipment for science lab, I want to say yes. If they want to be able to go on that special trip with their classmates, I want to say yes. I want them to leave foster care in the dust. Education is the way out. So what if everyone, what if every foster youth who aged out of care reached their full potential? What if we could reverse that stat? What if, say, every foster care youth graduated? Every youth earned a living wage. Every youth had a safe place to live when they age out. What if every youth in care had the support they needed to thrive as an adult? Enter our Fostering Futures program. Effective today, we are launching this program. and I am going to be asking for your help. I want to build on the success that we've had with 3 of the youth that you talked to and listened to today, and help us ensure that we have the resources to do that for all of our kids. And you can go on our website, casamarianor.org/fosteringfutures. Now, our goals are simple for this program. Everybody has a safe place to call home. Everyone graduates on time. And everyone, after they graduate, has a job, a trade school, or a college program lined up. We want them to successfully transition into adulthood, every single one of them, through a customized plan that makes sense for them. If they want to go in the trades, how can we help? If they want to go to Linfield, how can we help write those scholarship applications and essays? If they want to go to Western, how can we help? And that's where we will be asking for your help. So that's our Fostering Futures program, and you'll hear a little bit more about that when Jennifer comes up for the call for action today. But now I want to shift gears for a bit while I have your attention, because I do have your attention, right? I want to make sure that you're aware that this program, Fostering Futures, these are just some of the things that we're going to be doing. This is just a snippet of the life course that we are going to be setting for all of our young teens. For example, do they know how to get help with homework? Do they know what they want to do after graduating from high school or getting their GED? Am I pursuing further education, and do I know how to do that? Now, when they start with us, when they enter foster care, their answer to all of that may be, I don't know. I don't know what a college major is. I can barely think straight because I haven't slept in days. So we imagine that when kids sign up with us, there's going to be a lot of checked boxes in the green column. I need someone to decide for me. But our goal is that by working with our staff and our CASA volunteers, that by the time that they are finishing out of our program, they're going to be in the blue column. Next slide. This is daily life and employment, same concept. Again, this is another snippet from the information that we're going to be tracking for our youth so that we can create performance metrics for you to see the impact of our work and for us to hold ourselves accountable. So under daily life and employment, some examples. Can I decide if or where I want to work? Do I plan what my day will look like? Do I decide if I want to learn something new? How do I make decisions about money? Financial literacy is huge for kids. We have lots of kids who are graduating from high school who don't know how to open a bank account, who don't know how to apply for an apartment. We don't want to leave our kids out to dry. We want every single one of them to have a safe place to land. So that is our Fostering Futures program. And I really hope that you'll be on board with us today. But now I have to talk to you about something different while I have you here. Unfunded mandate, unrelenting need. That is our reality. Not just at CASA for Marion County, but the entire Oregon CASA network. You see, there's a CASA program in every county, all 36 counties statewide. Why? Because, as I said, there is a statewide mandate. Oregon law requires a CASA in every case. Every case. There are probably 5,000 kids in foster care right now, statewide. Now, the state also created the court-appointed Special Advocate Fund, the CASA Fund. Why? Because the intention was, if you're going to require a CASA, you need to pay for the program. That's the basic concept, right? But the state would never create an unfunded mandate, would it? No, surely not. No, that's ridiculous. Anyway, so here is our reality. Now, this is a timeline that shows funding for CASA programs statewide. The blue bars are what our programs have actually received. And in case you can't read the fine print, this is 5 million, 10 million, 15. But you see that black dotted bar up at the top? That's $20 million. That's where we should be. If you wanted to fully fund every single CASA program statewide, every biennium, $20 million. This is where we are. That is where we are. And as a result, 1 in 3 CASAs, 1 in 3 kids does not have a CASA. They don't have a Nicole or a Tara or a Lynn. They don't have that person to be there for them, to help them move forward, to help them pick up the pieces and move on with their lives. So that's why we need your support today. So I want to thank you for coming today. And now we've got 2 more people to wrap it up. You're going to hear a call to action from Jennifer Collins, and then a final word from our board president. Thank you, and please join me in welcoming Jennifer Collins to the stage.
These girls are going to make me look bad because they've got it together, and I don't feel like I do. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jennifer Collins, and I am the event coordinator for this luncheon. I hope you have enjoyed learning a little bit more about CASA today. When Vanessa asked me to be this section of the program, I thought, sure, why not? This should be easy. I asked for sponsorships for this luncheon. I ordered the flowers. I picked the meal. I know how to talk to people. Turns out it's a different story when you're dealing with the needs of younger members of our community, and you add a microphone to the mix and the nerves run a little high. But I've never experienced being a child that has been thrown into a world of adults using legal language that I don't understand and being encouraged to tell my story in front of strangers. I have never been a child who has had to walk into an intimidating courtroom and be asked personal questions. I've never had to wonder if graduating from high school might not be in my future. But I did have a community around me that made sure I could succeed at whatever I wanted to achieve. I had teachers, coaches, mentors, and bosses that helped me know my worth and helped me through the tough times. This kind of support is what CASA can do for the children in foster care. Today, you have heard from some extraordinary young ladies who are becoming part of the statistics we are striving to improve on. You have also heard about the Fostering Futures initiative that will be part of CASA's programming in the next year. And on the front of your program, you will see that the title of this luncheon is We Are For the Children. So how can you be part of the we? We need ambassadors in the community like yourself that can speak about what we do and why CASA is so important. We need business owners to host lunch and learns in their offices and invite our staff to talk about who we are and what we do. We need that special type of person who can take on the task of being a court-appointed special advocate. We know it isn't a role for everyone, and we know how blessed we are to find those people and have them volunteer with us. We invite you to be part of everything that makes these things happen. I thank you in advance for becoming part of our we. And now I'd like to turn it back over to our CASA Board Chair, Randy Franke.
You know, it's a lot easier going first than following that up. I don't know about you all, but it was hard to keep a dry eye hearing some of those stories today. The great work of our CASAs and seeing the results with these 3 fine young ladies, young adults that have a good start for a better future in life. It reminded me why I'm on a CASA board. And why I support this organization. You know, we all have our stories in life, and we've all had our challenges. But I can't think of any challenges greater than our children in foster care face every day. I thank our heroes, our CASAs. You're amazing. And congratulations to our 3 young ladies. I admire your ability to get up and tell your story. And while I love Linfield, I have a graduate degree from Western. And I think you said Jervis. 1965, best class alive. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for your support. And as you heard, there's many, many ways to support. You get a chance, talk to your neighbors. Talk to your fellow employees, your workers, the people you go to church with. Let them know the story. Because truly, I think the Optimist Club, if I remember correctly, adopted a African saying many years ago that I was amazed by. It takes a village to raise a child. And our CASAs are such an important part of that village in helping raise these young ladies and young men. Thank you all. Have a great day. And of course, my wonderful exec pointed out, I'm supposed to mention our first ever spring event. Mark your calendar, save that date, and come back and join us again then. Thank you all.